Welcome to my channel Rare USA Coin Spot. The 2006 Canada 1 cent coin sits at a fascinating crossroads of history, emotion, and modern collecting fever. This was not just another penny rolling through pockets. It marked the final chapter of everyday Canadian cent circulation, a moment when an ordinary object quietly became a symbol of an era ending. When people talk about bicentennial excitement around coins, what they are really reacting to is this powerful mix of timing, scarcity perception, and national memory. Coins like this ignite imaginations because they remind us that history doesn't always arrive with trumpets. It sometimes shows up disguised as small change. What makes the 2006 Canada 1 cent coin especially compelling is the psychology of the last issue. Collectors across the world obsess over last year coins because once production stops, the story is complete. No more will ever be made for circulation, and that alone changes how people see them. In 2006, millions were minted, yet only a fraction survive today in pristine, untouched condition. Most were spent, scratched, or lost, and that silent attrition is what fuels long-term value potential. A coin doesn't need to be ancient to be desirable, it needs a story, and this one has a strong ending. The real excitement begins when you understand condition and variety. A standard, worn 2006 cent is common, but a sharply struck example with full luster, no stains, and no contact marks enters a completely different world. Coins that were set aside directly from mint rolls or presentation sets can appear almost frozen in time. Add to that the intrigue of subtle minting variations, differences in finish, strike sharpness, or alignment, and suddenly a coin most people ignored becomes a serious talking point among collectors. Another layer of fascination comes from errors and anomalies. Coins are made at incredible speed, and even the most advanced systems are not perfect. Off-center strikes, double impressions, unusual surface textures, or missing design elements can transform a simple cent into a one-of-a-kind artifact. These are the coins that spark bidding wars and late-night discussions because they are visual proof that rarity can happen by accident. When such an error appears on a historically important year like 2006, attention multiplies instantly. There's also the emotional pull of national identity. The familiar maple leaf and portrait design connect generations, and collectors often seek coins that represent turning points in a country's monetary story. The final circulating cent represents the end of cash rounding at the smallest level and the beginning of a new pricing era. That cultural shift adds weight to the coin beyond metal and mint numbers. This is why collectors don't just ask, how many were made? But instead ask, what does this coin represent? It's important to separate myth from possibility while keeping the excitement alive. Not every 2006 1 cent coin is a hidden treasure, and claims of instant billionaire status belong more to imagination than reality. However, history shows that coins once dismissed as ordinary can rise dramatically in desirability over time, especially when tied to a clear historical milestone. Value growth in numismatics often rewards patience, knowledge, and preservation rather than quick flips. The people who benefit most are those who recognized importance early and protected their coins carefully. Preservation is where fortunes are quietly decided. A coin stored improperly can lose its appeal forever, while one kept in a stable, dry environment with minimal handling can maintain its original brilliance for decades. Serious collectors understand that condition is not cosmetic, it is fundamental. The difference between an average example and a top-tier specimen can be dramatic, even when they share the same date and design. This is why experts always say, never clean a coin, never polish it, and never underestimate the damage of casual handling. In the end, the 2006 Canada 1 cent coin is not about hype alone, it's about awareness. It teaches us that everyday objects can carry long-term significance when history, timing, and human behavior intersect. If you own one, especially in exceptional condition or with an unusual feature, it deserves a second look before being dismissed as pocket change. Coins like this remind us that value is not always obvious at first glance, and sometimes the smallest pieces of metal carry the biggest stories, shaped under the authority of the Royal Canadian Mint and preserved by those wise enough to recognize their quiet importance.